Join me as I dive into the wildest excuses people make for God's actions and see if I can expose the most ridiculous ones. Alright, settle in, because today I'm putting on my linguistic archaeologist hat to dig into some truly baffling phrases I hear floating around in the Christian sphere. Some of these go-to lines, when you actually stop to peel back their layers, well, they're just gold. Absolute comedic gold, if you ask me. And frankly, they make about as much sense as a screen door on a submarine. So let's grab our metaphorical shovels and unearth the sheer glorious irony. First up, the classic mic drop. God doesn't work that way. Oh, really? Really? Because last I checked, the defining characteristic of this particular deity, according to the very folks who trot out this phrase, is that his ways are, wait for it, mysterious. He moves in ways unseen, unfathomable, beyond mortal comprehension, and yet, here you are, a mere mortal with a definitive operating manual for the Almighty. You, my friend, apparently possess the exclusive VIP access to the divine blueprint, the celestial flowchart, the top secret memo from the big guy himself. I thought only God knows was the rule, but apparently some of you got a secret update I missed. Must be nice to have such intimate knowledge of something supposedly unknowable. My skepticism, I must admit, is getting a rather vigorous workout. Then there is the tearjerker, usually uttered during or after a bout of severe misfortune. God was there for me all along. Now this one truly tickles my funny bone, because the analogy that always springs to mind is too perfect. Imagine, if you will, being laid up in a hospital bed, gravely ill or recovering from a horrific accident. You're in immense pain, possibly facing monumental life changes, and your so-called best friend, from whom you expected support, they never called, never visited, didn't send a single get well soon card, let alone offer to pick up groceries or help with your medical bills. They were in essence utterly absent, zero presence, zero assistance, and zero empathy. Now, if someone dared to ask you about his friend's glaring lack of care during your deepest hour of need, would you, with a straight face, beam and declare, "Oh, but she was there for me through it all"? I mean, come on. Any sane person listening to that would either assume you're deeply deluded, perhaps suffering from a head injury, or simply making up ludicrous excuses for a terrible friend. They'd likely call you out for being an enabler, or worse, just plain ignorant. You'd be angry, wouldn't you? Hurt? Betrayed? Thinking they were cruel for their neglect? Your friendship would probably wither faster than a forgotten houseplant. But when it's an all-powerful, purportedly loving God who apparently didn't show up, didn't intervene, and let you suffer through whatever calamity befell you, be it cancer, a car crash, or a chronic illness, suddenly it's all, God was there for me all along. It's a spiritual gymnastics routine that would win gold at the cynicism Olympics. What a bizarre form of loyalty, praising the one who was conspicuously not there for their sterling record of non-intervention. It's like thanking the chef for a delicious meal he never cooked. Next on the list, the utterly baffling claim, God is all-knowing. If this were truly the case, my friends, then why, pray tell, did this omniscient being apparently regret creating humanity and then proceed to flood the entire planet, effectively hitting the cosmic reset button, only to allow Noah's family to survive and conveniently restart the whole messy business of sinning? If he's all-knowing, didn't he, know that was going to happen again? Seems like a rather inefficient, short-sighted solution for an all-knowing entity. And what about Job? The poor guy gets put through the ringer, losing everything, all because God needed to test his faith. Why? If he's all-knowing, didn't he already know Job's faith level? Why does he need to test anyone? It's like a teacher giving a student a pop quiz when they already know the student's exact grade. And don't even get me started on the Garden of Eden. If God was truly all-knowing, he must have known Adam and Eve would munch on that forbidden fruit. So why, for the love of all that's holy, did he plant the damn tree in the first place? So why, for the love of all that's holy, did he plant the damn tree in the first place? It's like setting a trap, knowing someone will fall into it, and then punishing generations for the fall. I mean, from a divine planning perspective, it's just dumb. Seriously, cosmic facepalm moment, if you ask me. Then there's the metaphysical sleight of hand. God is outside space and time. So the ultimate get-out-of-jail-free card for any inconvenient scientific inquiry. The moment you ask for evidence, boom! God transcends reality itself. Now I'm a material being firmly stuck within the confines of space and time. I can't exactly pop out for a quick chat with the guy who's supposedly beyond it all. And logically, if God exists outside space and time, then he can't exactly just waltz into space and time to interfere in my life, can he? It's like arguing that a character in a book can suddenly step off the page and give you life advice. It's a neat little philosophical trick to avoid empirical scrutiny, isn't it? Science can't prove God. Therefore, God exists because science can't prove otherwise. Oh, the circular logic is truly breathtaking. By that logic, my personal, invisible to everyone else unicorn Bartholomew, who also exists outside space and time, is just as real as your God. You can't prove Bartholomew doesn't exist, can you? See? That's why Bartholomew is totally real and also grants wishes, but only when I whisper them into a teacup on a Tuesday. I mean, it sounds silly when you apply the same reasoning to anything else, doesn't it? The burden of proof, dear Christians, rests on those making the extraordinary claim, not on those asking for evidence. Now, for a true head-scratcher, God is all-loving. This is where my humorous gives way to a full-blown guffaw. To claim universal love for a deity who, according to his very own book, is a homicidal, psychotic maniac who demands absolute obedience, or else you're sentenced to an eternity of fiery torment. It's ignoring vast swaths of sacred text, isn't it? Either they haven't read their Bible or they're doing some serious mental gymnastics to gloss over the genocides, the plagues, the smiting, and the frankly terrifying threats. And building on that, God loves everyone. Nope, sorry. The Bible, again, pretty explicitly suggests otherwise. Homosexuals, unbelievers, those who refuse to bow down and accept Him, not so much with the love. If the eternal damnation thing is anything to go by, if you truly loved everyone, you wouldn't threaten them with horrific, endless violence just for not believing in you, or for being born with a particular sexual orientation. That's not love. That's coercion with a side order of cosmic abuse. Which brings us to the truly laughable: God does not send you to hell, you choose to go there. Oh, the self-flagellating martyrdom of it all. So by simply not believing in a deity who provides zero verifiable proof of his existence, I'm somehow choosing to leap into eternal damnation? It's like saying I choose to be fined for speeding, even though I had no idea there was a speed limit and there were no signs. If I don't believe in something because there's no evidence, and your God then decides I'm off to the fiery pits, that's his decision, not mine. I didn't choose the molten sulfur. He chose it for me for the grave sin of requiring proof. It's a classic blame the victim move, blaming unbelievers for their own eternal torture because the supposedly all-powerful God couldn't be bothered to show up and prove himself. Honestly, folks, it's time to pull yourselves out of this rather cruel and logically inconsistent belief system. Finally, the grand finale: the power of prayer. If God is all-knowing and has a divine plan for everything, every sniffle, every cancer cell, every unfortunate car accident, and he allowed it to happen, then what exactly are you doing when you pray for a different outcome? Are you not, in essence, trying to interfere with his all-knowing plan? Are you testing God, perhaps suggesting he got it wrong? Hey, big guy, I know you had this whole cancer thing planned for Aunt Mildred, but could you maybe not? Just this once? Okay, thanks. Bye. And then, when your prayers aren't answered and Aunt Mildred succumbs to her illness, what's the fallback? God works in mysterious ways. Or it was her time. So the prayer was utterly pointless. A futile exercise in begging an omniscient being to change his mind, but also not really, because his plan was always the plan. The whole thing becomes a nonsensical loop. If God is all-knowing, he doesn't need your whispered pleas. If he cares, he'd do what's best without you badgering him. And if he doesn't care, well, then your prayers are just talking to an empty room. So there you have it, a humble atheist take on some of the most common Christian phrases. When you strip away the comforting veneer, they often reveal themselves to be contradictory, illogical, and frankly a bit of a comedic performance. Perhaps it's time we stopped trying to fit square pegs into round theological holes and just admit what's staring us in the face. Just a thought. For my listeners, what's the silliest phrase you ever heard a Christian say to you? Leave your answer in the comments. I look forward to the next time we talk. Thanks for watching. And again, this is Kim McPhail, the Kim McPhail Podcast, signing off. I'll see you next time.